Yo, it's your boy James, and today the E stands for emotional, and that is because Robert freaking Downey Jr. is back in the MCU, but as Victor Von Doom. I have so many thoughts. I have so many emotions when it comes to this. Honestly, it's mixed bag for me, and we're going to talk about it. So if you guys are excited about this conversation and others like it, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell. Without further ado, let's get right into RDJ as Dr. Doom. So the announcement came from San Diego Comic-Con 2024 just last night by the time of recording. And during the huge Hall H panel, we got Captain America Brave New World, the cast, all of the behind the scenes, even in a trailer there. We got the Thunderbolts, a mini clip there with the cast. We even got Fantastic Four, which I'm so excited about, with the cast there as well, and little clips behind the scenes stuff. And like, it was amazing to see, because I was just scrolling on Twitter, just trying to get whatever I could from this news. And then they ended the panel with the announcement of their two Avengers movies, Avengers Secret Wars, which is the final one coming out in May 27, which we knew about, but Avengers also Doomsday coming out May 2026. So you hear Doom in the MCU, you're like, okay, we're getting Doom, the long-awaited villain everybody has wanted. And they cap it off with Doom introducing himself as none other than Robert Downey Jr. The Hall H student just went crazy. I was watching it on Twitter, just trying to get as much news as I could with the case of this. It was insane. I wish I was there. This would go down as a memory within pop culture, within comic bookdom. I don't know what other stuff I could say, but this will go down in history. That being said, I have thoughts about this because I'm a huge comic book fan and a huge Dr. Doom fan, especially the iteration written by Jonathan Hickman during his not only Fantastic Four run, but also Avengers, New Avengers going into Secret Wars, which is what I have here. So first and foremost, let's just get this out the way. You're allowed, even though the internet might not say this, you're allowed to admit this is going to be great, but also I don't like it. You can do that. You can have two of a mind. We are complex beings. So that let anybody say that to you online. If you have those emotions, share them. So I'm admitting this is going to be huge. This is going to be a knockout the park. RDJ is an amazing actor. He just won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor in Oppenheimer. RDJ is an amazing actor. He's going to kill it as Dr. Doom. And he even says he loves complex characters, which Tony Stark was, and which definitely is what Dr. Doom is. So he's going to sink his teeth into this and is going to nail it. Also, this is a great business move by MCU or Marvel because, let's just be honest, they have been in a lull, up and down maybe, with some highlights and lowlights. And even Deadpool admits it in the movies a couple of times, which means Marvel acknowledges it by their own standards. So it's okay to say that. And it's okay to acknowledge, hey, let's bring in not only Robert Downey Jr., who was the face and the heart of the MCU during the Infinity Saga, but let's bring back the directors who made it all come together with Winter Soldier, Civil War, and of course Infinity War and Endgame. This is a brilliant move, and it's going to work because the internet is broken, because everybody's excited about this news. Everybody. The internet was going crazy, especially Twitter and especially YouTube with all these videos. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody is talking about it. And this was a great business move by them because, hey, we're down on our luck. What we wanted to do, which previously Doomsday was going to be King Dynasty, doesn't work out. We couldn't expect what was going to happen with Jonathan Majors. All of that is viable and it makes sense. But at the same time, I can't help but think this feels like a desperate move also. Because they acknowledge we haven't been where we were supposed to be. We haven't succeeded or been as consistent as we were. Or they wouldn't joke about it in the Deadpool movie. and them bringing the people who made the MCU, like a Robert Downey Jr. and like the Russo brothers directing the final two, or at least Doomsday and Secret Wars, feels like something like, okay, let's just dip back into that bag we initially had and bring these guys back in different capacities and hopefully re-spark something that we previously had. And with Deadpool and Wolverine making over $460 billion opening weekend for an R-rated film, they're off to a great start. So this is a great business move, and I definitely understand it. And honestly, narratively, this is going to be great as well, because come on, the Avengers fighting Doom with the face of a Tony Stark, whether it's him or Victor Von Doom just with the face of Tony Stark, or if it's Tony Stark but a different version of Tony Stark from a different universe who becomes Doom. Either way, there's going to be emotional ramifications with that interaction, because that was the person who saved the universe in the Infinity Saga. And now we have to fight him because he's in the way of creating Secret Wars and eventually take him out in Secret Wars, possibly, depending on how Doomsday goes. Narratively, this is going to have so much emotional gravitas, especially for a Peter Parker, who this was his Uncle Ben. After losing Aunt May, this is his Uncle Ben. Another way this makes sense narratively is how the quote RDJ made makes so much sense. He says, new mask, but same task. So he's not having the Iron Man mask. He has the Victor Von Doom mask, but same task, which to me feels like a suit of armor across the entire world to protect it, which is how we got Ultron. But a villainous version of that, which is why we saw Doombots on the panel, makes a lot of sense narratively. And just that phrase, new mask, same task, I think points to this being Tony Stark, but as Doom. And so, again, it's going to add a lot of emotional gravitas narratively just from storytelling. And again, from a business standpoint, from the outside looking in, this is a great move from there. But again, both can be true. Great business decision, and it feels desperate. We've been looking for the heart of the MCU after Cap and Iron Man. We've been looking for that person to rally around, that lightning rod that we previously had with those two. We haven't really had it in the multiverse saga because we've kind of been everywhere, introducing so many characters. And so we look and we're just like, who are the Avengers? Who's still on the Avengers now? Who's the person that we all can just turn to and know is going to bring everything together? We don't have that at all. And so again, the heart just felt like it's gone. And we as a community, we as fans of the MCU are like, we miss RDJ and Chris Evans as Captain America and Iron Man. I don't think bringing RDJ back brings the heart back, though. I just don't. It doesn't. And now it kind of messes up Doom, in my opinion, because you can't separate the two. You can't. RDJ's played Iron Man for over 10 years. And now he's Dr. Doom, one of the baddest villains in all of Marvel. And we, as fans of the comics and of the character, have wanted to see him portrayed properly. We got horrible iterations in the original ones with Chris Evans as Johnny Storm in that iteration, and even Fan Four Stick. Horrible iterations of Dr. Doom. And now, just with RDJ, he's going to kill it. He's going to give a great iteration of it. But it's undercut because we just see Tony Stark and not Dr. Doom. Now, it's going to be up to the writers, it's going to be up to the directors to kind of take that away and allow us to just see him as Dr. Doom. Hopefully, narratively, they're able to do that. But then what are we going to do after that? The next Victor Von Doom is now going to be compared to this iteration of Doom played by RDJ, whether as Tony Stark or whether as Doom in an alternate universe. It gets messy. And it just feels like a desperate ploy to get back any good I guess, brownie points they previously had with the Infinity Saga that they've lost with this multiverse saga. Again, both can be true. It's going to succeed. It's going to make a lot of money. RDJ is going to kill it, and I can't wait to see it. I will be right there, front and center, early access if I can. But it also feels desperate because Marvel has acknowledged they haven't been where they wanted to be. And pulling in these cats just feels desperate, man. And the MCU was never there. It wasn't in a desperation mode. Yes, early on when you didn't know what to expect, but after the first Avengers movie, man, they started taking risk. You can't tell me Guardians of the Galaxy wasn't a risk. You can't tell me Ant-Man wasn't a risk. You can't tell me moving forward some of these TV shows and other movies weren't a risk. Guardians of the Galaxy possibly is the best trilogy in the entire, all of MCU. Take a risk with one of the best well-written characters ever, going back to my favorite run of Fantastic Four by Jonathan Hickman, who I think writes Victor Von Doom the best out of any iteration we've seen in all of comics. With his Fantastic Four run, Avengers New Avengers run, and this Secret Wars run. I'm excited. The internet broke. I'm loving all the buzz around the MCU and around comic books now. People are turning to see what comic books to read so they can understand RDJ or Tony Stark as Iron Man. I believe one of them was a what if storyline. But at the same time, I can still feel like we're missing out on something that could be special with a Victor Von Doom, who is such an amazing and special character, even though he's a villain. In Jonathan Hickman's run, when Reed finds the other Reeds, we see other iterations of Victor Von Doom, but they're vegetables. That's because every Reed had to stop Doom because he's that evil. And they had to keep him in a select area. None of them were Tony Stark. All of them were Victor Von Doom. All of them. All of them. None of them had the face of Tony Stark. All of them were Victor Von Doom. And that's because Victor Von Doom is Doom. He is pure evil, but in the coolest way. And it's just going to undercut that with having the face of Tony Stark that not only us comic book fans have grown to love in the MCU, but general audiences who might not know this Victor Von Doom. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be fun. It's going to succeed. It's going to make a lot of money. And this was a smart move. It can also be a desperate move, perspective-wise. That being said, what are you guys' thoughts? What are your E-words you would use to describe your emotions pertaining to this announcement of RDJ coming back to the MCU as Victor Von Doom in Avengers Doomsday and possibly Avengers Secret Wars? Comment below, let me know. Let's talk more reactions like this. If you guys enjoyed this type of reaction that wasn't really tied to a trailer, but more news-wise, comment in the comment section below and let me know if you want to hear my take on other nerdy news and other aspects with movies, TV shows, and just overall San Diego Comic-Con. I really appreciate that. Also, if you guys enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and check out the video to your right. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until next time.